Welcome back to the North American LCS for the final game of the day, Clutch Gaming versus 100 Thieves. Let's jump right into the starting rosters. Selecting blue side, it's Clutch Gaming with Solo in the top lane, Moon here today in the jungle, Febiv in mid lane with Piglet and Vulcan also coming up from the Academy ranks to join the main team here on the LCS stage, and Coach David Lim.
That Moon picture gets me every time.
It's great. I love it. He's staying hydrated. He knows the importance.
He is. Well, that's going to be important because squaring off against them on the red side will be 100 Thieves in the top lane. It's Someday. In the jungle, it's Anda. Mid lane, Ryu. Bottom, Cody Sun. Support Afra, Moo, and Coach Prawley on stage.
Now, 100 Thieves are a first-place team who earned their spot off of funnel strategies. We've seen them have a lot of effectiveness with those particularly, but they got nerfed in 8.14.
Exactly. Take a look at the stats here. 100 Thieves, 4-0 with the funnel strategy. And as you said, Monster Hunter, this new correction for champions taking Smite and having the most gold on their team, it's going to change a lot of these dynamics. Now we're going to have to see if 100 Thieves will be able to maintain first place without that strat, or if they take an alternate route with it. Maybe they make a couple corrections to try and work around Monster Hunter and have people kind of juggle gold.
In what is potentially the toughest week for the team, Clutch Gaming, though, faced the spring finalists with 3 new players to the starting roster.
Yeah, big surprise here. Moon, Piglet, and Vulcan are all starting here. They have had success in the Academy League. Clutch have been very outspoken about how good these guys have been performing. It's a surprise to a lot of people, though, because when you think of Clutch Gaming, one of the biggest things is Hakuo's plays on the support. Big playmaking guys. So there's some big shoes to fill here for Vulcan. He's had a very diverse set of champions he's played, pretty much all of the meta champions there in the support role. Meanwhile, Piglet is another star that has been moved up again to the LCS stage. The only odd thing there has been Ryze has been Piglet's preferred mage in the Academy League, 4 times played by him, and with the most of the rest been majority marksman. Meanwhile, if you're going to bring those guys on, then you have to swap around your import slots. And so Moon making his way back to the LCS stage. Hoping, me personally, for some Shaco play. I really enjoyed that the first time around, even though it didn't go well for him.
I don't know how likely the Shaco is, but Piglet and Vulcan have had some solid numbers in their Academy play so far. Vulcan, the second highest support KDA and the highest KP, 80.1%. It's 0.1, but that still means it's over 80% kill participation as a support. Piglet also has the highest bottom lane damage percentage and damage per minute out of those bottom laners in Academy. So it's easy to see why these guys are being given a shot putting up numbers like that.
Definitely true. All right, we're already into the ban's pretty standard here. They do respect Vulcan's Rakan here, so they banned that one out early on. First pick already came through. Trundle for Moon has been his most played for this split in Academy. And a very standard jungler overall, as we mentioned. Can get deceptively tanky off of any tanks there run by the 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves say, all right, you're going to play the Trundle in the jungle. We'll go ahead and pick up our jungler here as well, grabbing the Graves for Anda.
All right. Anda is definitely an aggressive jungler. We've seen from him. When given a winning matchup like that, can go super aggressive. I love that there are so many options with Graves now, too. We have seen people run fleet footwork for the extra speed and healing. Press the attack has gained a lot of notoriety in the professional play recently, adding the extra damage while still giving you the attack speed bonus. And then, of course, there are the oddballs that have still run Electrocute or even Phase Rush, actually, for chasing people down. But I do expect, press the attack a little bit more standard for him this time around.
They'll also pick up Orianna in their first rotation on the side of 100 Thieves, likely giving that one over to Ryu. I remember seeing this guy make some incredible shockwave plays on this champion back in the Phoenix 1 days. We'll see if he can do that here again today. He will be up against a pretty slippery target to catch in a shockwave with that Ezreal. And Ezreal's even slipperier when he's in Tom Kench's belly.
That's true. Landing his shockwave is going to require a little bit more patience because there's also no delivery champion that's been locked in for 100 Thieves. Oftentimes when you see an early Orianna, you think about what champions are going to combo with her, someone with a long-range dash for a dive to really get better placement on that ball. But basically, over the last couple weeks, Orianna has emerged as the premier blind pick mage for the mid lane. Trend really starting in LCK and showing up here once again. That does mean that you could throw some more bans at Febiven in the mid lane, who has typically been Clutch's main star, big carry performer for them. And Azir was, the last split, the biggest of carry champions for him.
Oh yeah, he's had some hella performances on Azir so far, but he won't be able to do it here today. The Orianna, it's interesting to see it back in the meta again, because for so long it was that evergreen pick of, well, what do we pick here? What is our comp on? Just throw Orianna in there. She works with everything. These days it's sort of tending towards that again. 100 Thieves banning out the Zoe as well as the Azir, though, really targeting that mid lane pool. Zoe is so strong right now. We're seeing her picked all the time almost when she's available. Kind of surprising that 100 Thieves get the chance to ban it out in the second round, but seeing that opportunity, they jump on it, while Clutch Gaming says, all right, we've already got our 80 carry. Let's go ahead and hit some of these other ones that we think could be a problem. They'll take the Jhin out first. 5 seconds to do their last ban. Come on, Clutch, what do you got for me? What's it going to be? It will be LeBlanc.
Actually, that's good you bring that. I didn't even notice until we got to the second phase that Zoe had gone through the entire first pick phase here for both teams, as Clutch Gaming felt really strongly that they wanted to lock in this duo. They brought up Piglet and Vulcan for a reason, and they've early picked them. The Ezreal Tom Kench lane, as you said, that's a super difficult lane to gank, so they shouldn't be feeling a lot of pressure like they're going to get killed early on, even though it looks like Cody Sun's looking to do just that. Lucian locked in here with the Braum, the classic marksman and melee support kill lane there with the easily stacked up stuns.
I want to talk about some old school matchups. Syndra versus Orianna is one that we used to get plenty of in a meta long forgotten that we will see again here today. Clutch Gaming locking in that very powerful burst mage there in the mid lane for Febiven. And we'll see what they want to go for as the final pick in the top lane. This one they will have to go into blind. What do you play here if you're solo, thinking about the Gnar?
Gnar definitely super versatile on the top side. Of course, is usually a very good blind pick because of the versatility, allowing you to stay mini form if it's a bad matchup, CS from afar, throw out the boomerangs, plus always having the possibility of teamfight utility if a split pushing strategy doesn't work out. So you kind of get a little bit of both strategies, fallback pattern. Yasuo, of course, the hover here, which is the one everyone gets excited for. The kind of classic.
Go back.
I personally think that Kennen is a stronger and better counter to lock in.
But you can't make as cool montages with him.
I mean, going in with a lightning rush, storm up and getting the stuns on everyone, full AP, blowing them all up, I think it's pretty cool, but hasn't been showcased yet. People keep on thinking, okay, when's the AP, full AP Kennen coming in? Celerity has gone a long way. A lot of the mastery changes have really improved that setup, but it's not in this game, so it doesn't matter. The classic Gangplank there matchup has been locked in for Someday, who's been, honestly, an all-star performer for this split so far.
Absolutely. Last game, we got to see this same matchup between the Golden Guardians and Team Liquid. We're going to see it again here in Clutch versus 100 Thieves. Someday is the kind of guy that you can count on to carry from the top lane. We saw Impact showcase how to scale with that GP, become a monster as the game goes on. Someday, exactly the kind of guy you would expect a similar performance out of, especially considering the kinds of numbers and performances that he's been putting up so far throughout Summer Split.
All right. Let's see if they can land the combos. Because again, 100 Thieves, they actually don't have a great setup for the Orianna Shockwave. As you said, Clutch have a pretty slippery team composition there. So even if 100 Thieves do get an early lead, might be hard for them to force. But of course, they could always go for scaling.
One thing I also want to go ahead and mention, as I can see the keystones that the champions are loading in with, press the attack on the Graves. Prophet Kobe predicts it correctly. That's the one that we're going to be seeing here today. For Anda on the side of the Thieves. Loading on to Summoner's Rift for the final time here today. Clutch Gaming sitting at 4 and 6. 100 Thieves sitting at 6 and 4.
Yeah, part of the reason why we've seen a lot of people recently swapping over to the press the attack is it's so easy for Graves to stick on a lot of the especially melee champions. Once you get into attack range of them, you get your phage, passive speed. You can continue to dash forward, and you know, proccing press is very easy, so you can get that one up and finish off the rest of the damage. Definitely a sustained DPS champion. Aframu and Cody Sun going in. They do get the Q and the stun.
Piglet. Nope. Gobbled up. Tom Kench off the bench. There we go.
Well, actually, because he devoured him so early, there was a small window there. If Cody Sun was a tiny bit closer, he could have procced the stun after. They don't get it, though, and some decent damage dealt on the way out. I didn't quite see what did Piglet get, if he got anything with Klepto there, if he used it early. There it is. It's a little fakey potion.
Oh, yeah. What even?
Extra little
Names?
fakey.
I don't
Got
actually
some
even know the names of them. They're, oh, yeah. Pilfered Health Potion. 50 health over 5 seconds. Yeah, it's a pretty baby potion. Is 1/3 as big as a normal potion. But it sells for almost the same amount of money.
God, Flowers, we got action going here in the mid lane. Look at this trade, my friend. The level 1 Syndra spheres, by the way, notoriously low damage for a level 1 skill. Only 50 base, and then you get that small AP ratio.
64 damage with the AP included,
Yeah.
which is barely more than an auto attack.
Definitely has been a point of discomfort for some Syndras early on. Obviously, you're going to rank that one up very early, but Onda's getting in there.
Speaking of very early, they've been having to pop the heal there to make sure he gets out of the way of any more damage from that Graves.
Yeah, they followed up again, as you saw on the screen, with the red invade. Graves trying to play aggressively early. The range advantage allows you, if you can get some assistance with your invades, to really take advantage of Trundle.
Meanwhile, bottom side, you mentioned how Cody Sun and Aframu are playing this Lucian Braum. This lane is just known for being aggro and trying to take you down, grab the kill in the lane, but when Piglet and Vulcan can hit the level 2 first and then turn that back around against you, you gotta back up.
Yep, they move in very aggressively here. Piglet and Vulcan onto the LCS stage for the first time this split. Vulcan, by the way, is representing French Canada from Quebec, I believe, the province. And he's very excited about being first there. So good luck to him. He's got a pretty early start to this lane phase. As you said, Piglet and Vulcan pushing up, trying to get the pressure down. They do have a control ward as well, with Trundle in the river down there, taking over Scuttlecrab. So a lot of vision to support this bottom lane that they also prioritized in Champ Select, getting their duo very early on, and even getting some deep wards down.
And talking about this Clutch Gaming bottom lane, these players that have been subbed in from Academy, this is one hell of a week to be told, hey, we're giving you the shot on the LCS main stage. We mentioned it in the introduction to this game. This is a pretty tough week that Clutch Gaming are facing. It's not like you're going into this one saying, okay, we have a couple of our easier opponents, let's put these guys in, let's give them a try. This is, no, we've got some tough teams for you to have to beat. Here you go, we believe in you. And that's one way to show that you've got faith in them, but at the same time, that's a mountain you've got to climb up, and Piglet and Vulcan had best be ready.
Well, climbing gear comes with the skin for Piglet. Explorer Ezreal, perfectly well equipped, Captain Flowers. Haha!
He's a role player. He knows what he's supposed to be doing here. Ready to climb up.
The other part of that, of course, is Moon here on the Trundle. Red Smite has been upgraded early. He was able to get the bottom Scuttlecrab, as we said, to get a little bit more comfort for these guys. Now back out onto the map. See where they make their first move here for Clutch Gaming, because they do have a little bit more stability to work with. Trying to go for an invade, and drops his control ward on the way past the river.
And is just clearing out his own Krugs, though. Not really anything too crazy happening early on. Bottom lane doesn't have either jungler anywhere near it. We will see the 2v2 break out there as Piglet takes some damage, but both sides walk out.
Yeah, while we're bottom, let's analyze a little bit of their laning here. Because Vulcan, I like what he does. As soon as Piglet gets tagged by the Braum passive, starts stacking up, he's instantly moving forward, trying to stack up his taste onto Cody Sun, threatening that third stack, because you don't want to get devoured, especially if there's a big minion wave built up.
Right.
You can't afford to get devoured, then spat back out into a 2v2 within a giant minion wave that has multiple ranged minions and the cannon minions against you there. So even if the skill shots do land, nice kind of defensive play there, able to force them off.
Solo and Someday both working with limited resources here. Solo taken low, having to flash away. Someday's low on mana, but still chases him out. Gets that summoner spell there for free.
Someday, as we said in Champ Select, this guy's definitely been an all-star for 150 Thieves. really shining through, especially this split as well. And he has gone with the Grasp on Gangplank. Now, the debate is always between Grasp and Kleptomancy. Grasp will allow you to stack up your health and, of course, go for a little bit of the sustain. That's more reliable in lane, whereas Kleptomancy, you have to rely on actually hitting those potions or hitting the gold stacks. And Grasp is definitely going to make you more tanky, a little bit safer. But Somebody's doing a very good job being aggressive in the lane, pushing up, forcing summoners. He's already forced both summoners out of solo, who again, on the Gnar, as we said, one of the reasons you picked the champion, has some defensive options for his gameplay. If he's getting pushed in, try and CS from afar there with your mini form and your boomerang.
Farm it up nice and safe, stay underneath the turret, just relax for a while, wait for the opportunity to TP in and cause a ruckus somewhere else. Sort of like what we saw Lorlo do in the last game, where he wasn't involved in anything for a while against Team Liquid, and then all of a sudden he shows up, Mega Gnars a couple people into the wall, and shows off that team fighting capability, while bottom side, Vulcan's right there. Once again, as soon as the Winter's Bite is onto Piglet, Vulcan's spidey senses start tingling, and he's right there next to him to make sure nothing bad happens to this AD carry, who's doing a good job farming up so far. Flash away from Afromu to make sure that he doesn't have that third stack get procced on, to make sure he doesn't get devoured.
As much as Piglet and Vulcan are keeping up this pressure, still a pretty close in CS here as far as Cody's son. There's about 4 more for him to pick up, so it'll still be a small lead for the Clutch Gaming duo, but it's not just the CS, right? He's also got the Cull. You know, Piglet has been able to go with the slightly more greedy build there. He's going to be cashing in 74 minions away.
Second round of buffs are spawning, which means it's time to hand off the blues to the mid laners. Ryu running a little low on mana for the time being, but that will quickly be alleviated by the fact that he does have that buff now available. He wants to come around behind here with Anda's help and potentially grab a kill onto Febiven, who is potentially in a spot where you could grab it. Nope.
Yeah, intelligent move here from 100 Thieves. Anda knows that because he went for the invade, starting on the red, Moon started on the blue, so he moves over at the timer. He's able to steal it away along with Ryu, and if you deny blue buff from the Syndra-Orianna matchup, that is going to be huge comfort there for Ryu. So all they have to do now is protect their delayed blue spawn on their side of the map, which should be very easy, as you are the Graves. You also have your upgraded red smite. I can easily defend that one. The big turner here would be if Piglet and Vulcan, their bottom lane pressure was enough to allow a duo move to support an invade.
As many a mid laner in low to mid diamond solo queue has told me before, Kobe, it is impossible to lane against someone with blue when you don't have blue. WTF noob jungler. We'll have to see how well that plays out for Febiven here in the mid lane as he tries to deal with all the shoving power that'll be coming down from Ryu. And secures the top lane scuttle crab for himself on this Graves. Farm staying pretty even across the map, quite honestly. A 13 lead in the mid lane is the biggest thing we're talking about so far.
Ooh.
But jungler, top side, bottom side, all very close. And it will zone Solo away from this top side here. Remember, Solo doesn't have the teleport available. Did burn it already when he was forced back earlier.
Yep,
if he decides to stay for this one, could end up in a pretty bad spot, and it will continue hanging around here as Someday just wants to continue to shove up. Bottom side, it's Piglet and Vulcan, though, who have put a lot of damage down onto that tier 1 turret. As Solo may now look to run down Someday, who flashes forward, and with the help of collateral damage, it's first blood for the Thieves.
Someday, relentless pressure on the top side. Anda on the Graves makes an easy complement there to the laning position. And with Solo getting aggressive while Moon comes up to help him, just gets shot right in the face. 2 guns from each of those champions, and he goes down. First blood bonus over here to Someday. Let's take a look here. Solo does move up because he's got Moon on the way and the turret shot on Someday, but Someday flashes right into him, and then Anda is able to add the extra damage from across the screen. Don't think Solo calculated that one, and he goes down.
Very well done by 100 Thieves, coordinating that right there, making sure that element of surprise was enough to put Solo in the ground. And that extra money means that Someday is able to come back to lane. He's got the Phage, he's got a dagger as well, working towards that Trinity Force. It's all about just getting these items online. Just play the game. If you get the kill, that's nice. Ooh. It's all just about scaling up for Someday on this Gangplank.
And he can just continue to fire off parlays into Solo, stacking up his grass, getting more tanky. If you're the Gangplank with the giant lead in lane, plus you've gone grass, it makes it even harder for them to set up any sort of counter kills on you or try and punish your bullying, punish your laning position. They're going to try and do just that because they don't want it to get too far out of hand.
Here we go. Solo slams him down into the wall. Sunday still waiting around to see if he can do anything about this one, but he's out of there. The pillar's going to make sure of it, and Moon grabs the kill for himself.
Yeah, really nice pillar there as Solo was able to get the Gnar backwards into the little crook of that wall, and Moon comes in, able to just block him off, so nowhere for Someday to win. And just as we're talking him up on the Gangplank with this huge lead that he was poised to build, they have a repeat gank. Nice work there. That's how you keep your top laner from tilting, by the way.
Go up there and give him a little help sometimes.
Just died early. Moon's like, oh, God, I got to go up there again, or he's going to just rage.
Put my babysitting pants on. Get up there and make sure everybody's happy. Clutch Gaming will head towards the Rift Herald now. They'll pick that one up, put it free for themselves. We'll see if they can manage to translate that into a good usage here later on. Piglet, the arcane shift over the wall, making sure he doesn't get caught out by Cody and Afro here in the bottom lane. That bottom lane tier 1 turret for 100 Thieves is still barely hanging on by just a sliver. So any more pressure from Piglet and Vulcan should be able to knock that one over, but at the same time, the Thieves are doing a good job pressuring into the solo lanes.
Yeah, I mean, Sebastian talked about the Clutch Gaming. Well, never mind. Moon actually might make a one-on-one situation here into a two-on-two.
Ryu, nice job using the stopwatch there to make sure he blocks the ultimate damage from Febiven. Getting that stopwatch out is still a win for Clutch Gaming, though.
Definitely true. It's a huge game changer as far as some of the plays we've seen these professional players pull off with the stasis. So that's definitely a very big cooldown to ever get out in trades like that. Back to the bottom lane, though. Clutch Gaming have been very adamant about how well Piglet and Vulcan have been doing in the Academy League, and that's the big reason why this late season change of their roster has actually come about. There we go, though. Now they're under fire.
Cody and Afro deciding they're going to go up against these guys mano-a-mano, 2 versus 2. Vulcan's going to be taken very low. Pops a stasis of his own. A nice return from Afro Moo. 2 more hits will do it. Cody's able to find one. Looking for the second, and the auto attack does it. It's a double kill for 100 Thieves.
And Cody's son's going to send them right back to the fountain. Look at how close that was for the pressure to finally come about in a turret take, too. They've been slowly working all game long, but 13 minutes in, Afro Moo and Cody's son come up with a huge 2v2 play, slightly complemented there by Someday's ultimate on Gangplank, which actually leaves him without defenses on the top side.
Rift Herald summoned up here as Clutch Gaming will look to take down the tier 1 turret. Sunday's hanging around, but he doesn't really want anything to do with this 1 versus 2. He'll have to concede the objective, which does give first turret over to the side of Clutch Gaming. 100 Thieves were not able to find anything for themselves in the bottom lane earlier, and Someday now just takes this opportunity to beat up Shelly, and he'll continue farming up on the Gangplank.
Oh, the extra bonus there. Shelly is worth 25 gold, by the way, unless they changed it recently.
Yeah, she's like a big old melee minion.
They have been adjusting those things. Turret, though, should be able to go down in exchange here. 100 Thieves will get one back.
100 Thieves make sure that they don't allow Clutch Gaming to get an edge in terms of just overall map presence with those turrets, even when they make the play on the bottom side. Let's take another look at how Cody and Afro pulled this off.
Yeah, this one starts out just with Cody's son dashing right in past Vulcan to be able to get the pressure off on Piglet. Really nice ultimate there from Afro Moo. Got the knock-up on both members, and then his stopwatch use negating the possible kill there from Piglet, allowing Cody's son to go even deeper there with the Gangplank ultimate slow.
Blade of the Ruin King power spike on the Lucian, helping make sure these guys were able to set that one up. Now you can see with the Ruby Crystal and Longsword in the inventory of Cody's son.
Look at that tower.
Looks like it could be going for Black Cleaver next. Turret still stays alive, though. 100 Thieves making sure, hey, whether it's a 1% or 100%, they don't get money unless it's dead. If 100 Thieves can keep that thing standing, it could encourage Clutch to invest more resources towards this bottom side to knock it down, though. You can see Vulcan, Moon, and Febiven all hanging around here, thinking about the potential of a dive. Vulcan's tongue goes over the wall, but he won't steal away the Gromp today. There's a ward also placed down on the Tri-Brush by the Thieves to keep an eye on these collapses.
Plus, the top lane right here is a huge issue, right? They've got Someday farming away under his turret. Close one. Trying to get
No
in there
cigar.
and sneak the kill, but not close enough. As you
3
said,
health.
whether it's 1% or 100%, standing is standing.
It's actually under 0.1% now.
There you go. Anyway, Someday up there on the gangplank, farming away under his turret, while Solo in this situation, as the top laner that would have to be overextended, you have to start thinking about what are we going to do as a team to force a change in the state of the game. Are they going to try and force something on a Mountain Drake? Mountain Drakes aren't typically the most sought after early on in the game, but still definitely have a lot of value as soon as you get towards the Baron stages of the game. So maybe we see some action set up around the Dragon. I think that 100 Thieves would be very happy to just continue farming, you know. They've got the Trinity Force completed on Someday. He's going to continue to stack up, and Graves can farm at a very quick pace in the jungle as well.
But we have seen Moon keep up with him very good so far.
Definitely true. On the Trundle, and Trundle is bottom side. They're going to see him jump over with the Blast Cone.
But Anda and Ryu are already here now as well. It's going to be a 4 versus 3 as Vulcan tries to save Piglet. Moon's going to be left to his own devices. Subjugate to keep himself alive for now. Gangplank ulti coming through. Culling also going to be chasing after these guys. Ryu wants to find the damage. He's got it down onto Piglet. Shockwave comes through. It's 3 dead on the side of Clutch Gaming. Can they find anything in return? They've got the kill onto the enemy mid laner as Afro Moon's going to be bursted down by Febby. And that's a double kill for Clutch Gaming's mid.
They are able to get a couple back for themselves, but 100 Thieves are sticking around at the turret. It looks like they want to get some more pressure down. Will be chased off here by Febivin, who's acquired his blue buff through the iron price.
We might be in for another spicy one here today, Kobe. I am enjoying this so far. 100 Thieves make the move. Clutch Gaming strikes back. Let's take another look at how it went down.
All right, they're able to jump over the wall with the Blast Cone, and even though Clutch see them coming, there's not a lot of room for them to get out. Gangplank Golden comes down, triple slow, big AoE there from the grave, sets up Ryu to flash in on Orianna and pick off 2 easy kills. Their Shockwave gets number 3, but Solo arrives in time to stun him against the wall. Febivin picks up the blue buff off of his opponent's dead body, then flashes in with the ultimate to get kill number 2. And this bottom lane, the turret is still standing there with a couple of
3 health, baby. That's all you need to stay standing. Clutch would really, really, really like to get rid of that thing.
Yeah, but you also don't want to get your hand caught in the cookie jar.
Right.
You get that close, maybe 100 Thieves.
That's a juicy-looking cookie jar, but...
Not that cookie. Get the cookie.
Oh, the minion took it down. MVP minion right there. Oh, wow, he had a very short-lived victory. All right, he gets the big money over for his team, and then he gives 20 gold over to Cody's son. Clutch Gaming will take that trade. Clutch Gaming's happy about that one. They've got 2 turrets under the belt now, 1 turret for the side of 100 Thieves. Baron will be spawning here in a minute. We're almost to that point of the game where it does become a point of contention between the 2 sides. And you can already see some vision in the upper river for the side of Clutch Gaming because they've controlled that area so far. You mentioned earlier how Someday's just farming up underneath the turret. That's because Solo's pushed forward. He's got control over that lane, so Clutch will naturally have more control over that part of the map for now.
Yeah, I like what Solo's doing as well. When he pushes up, has the extra priority. You can move in, you can get vision, you can take away jungle camps. Krugs actually has a lot of value, even for people who don't have jungle items. Krugs is definitely one of the most packed jungle camps as far as gold and experience.
It's just a pain in the butt to get to.
Exactly. So if you're top laner and you're already up there and you're pushing the wave,
Hey, why not?
You know, you place down your little semi-deep wards, take away some Krugs.
It's like the candy they put next to the cash register at the store. You wouldn't go out of your way to find it, but you're like, hey, it's right there. I might as well pick this up for $1.
Take one of those mints or one of those little strawberry grandma candies.
Yeah, give me a strawberry grandma candy Krug. Piglet will continue hanging around the top side for now, though. Just shooting off those mystic shots wherever he can find them. Does have the Muramana already fully stacked 20 minutes into the game. Iceborne Gauntlet going along with that one, a more defensive option compared to what you sometimes see with the Trinity Force. Wants to make sure he's not going to get himself one-shot by Anda or Someday or Cody, should they find a way to jump onto him if he's not safe next to Vulcan's Tom Kench.
Yeah, armor is definitely going to go a long way for him in this game. We'll see, though. I mean, he also had a lot of kind of efficient item choices there, right? He went with the magical footwear as a rune, which makes it so you don't have to spend any money on your boots. Plus, your boots are going to be 10 move speed faster, which is a huge amount, by the way.
You were the only person
value.
other than me who believed in the free-ass boots back when these runes were first changed around. You and me were right there on that train.
Free ass boots, the best boots.
Why
But
everybody else?
He also went with the Cole, and he cashed in on the Cole. So definitely kind of hitting his stride here as far as the mid-game spike for Ezreal. And Clutch Gaming able to get the last outer turret for themselves. So opened up some more territory to work with, even though 100 Thieves have both the top and the bottom turrets at very low health situations and are kind of poised to strike back. This game is so incredibly close. 21 minutes into the game, they've kept it that way, and now it's going to be about fighting for this vision. Who's going to get caught? You know, maybe a bit overextended there and lead to the first pick of the game.
Yeah, we're a couple hundred gold apart between these two teams at 21 minutes into the game, as some days just getting the juicy parlay barrel procs onto those chickens to make sure he maximizes the income on the gangplank. You can see the Jarm's fist in the inventory means he will be going for the Sterix gauge next to make sure he survives the burst if he's on the front line and gets himself caught out a bit, while Cody will continue farming up the top side. And 100 Thieves, remember, we talked about how this organization got to first place. They were executing on funnel strategies so well. This was the team that just seemed to pull them off time and time again so successfully. But now that funnel's been hit, the question is, how hard does the change in meta affect the team? How well can they adapt now that their biggest weapon has been dulled? And so far, they've been doing a good job making sure that they're not falling behind as they look to collapse on the moon.
See if this action dissipates, because I like the point you're bringing up here. We had seen so much success for 100 Thieves that you kind of start to think of them about, you know, playing around Cody's son, you know, trying to funnel into this marksman. They did it back, you know, before funneling was a thing. They would try and draft their comps around that.
Never forget 68% damage Caitlyn.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. However, I'm kind of glad to see 100 Thieves changing weapons, because Someday was not used that well in Spring Split for them. And this was a Spring Split where they went right through playoffs.
Yeah.
Able to play in the finals there.
Second place overall.
But now that we've seen Someday kind of unleashed in the summer split, I'm happy to see it happen. Now he's on Gangplank. He's the weapon, right? He's the DPS.
Yeah.
He has a huge amount of possibilities in this game as you get towards the team fights. Once you get towards the mid and late game team fights and it's a fully built Gangplank, that's when you start to see the possibilities of those big barrel chains coming through to the backside, you know, or the nice ultimate usage, really on stage and in the spotlight.
Even when they played funnel, even when it was, all right, guys, pour the resources into Cody, let's make this happen. I remember the game where Someday was on Jax and makes the 1 versus 4 Nexus defense, stunning everyone at the same time. And if you looked at the stats in that game, he had 500 CS, he had all these kills. He was just putting on such an incredible performance when he wasn't the funnel target. Even when the strategy and the meta didn't revolve around him, he found a way to just be so damn relevant and important on this team. And now on that Gangplank, like you said, if he continues to get the time to scale, it could be explosive for the side of 100 Thieves. The Earth Drake is alive, and it looks like the teams are willing to fight for it.
Yeah. As cool as it is to, you know, talk about the changes we've seen over the splits, it's actually Ryu with the highest farm and the 3 kills on the Orianna. So keep your eye on the ball, Captain Flowers.
Shockwave could come in so big for this team. I wanted to say could come in clutch, but I felt like I was getting into freak territory there, considering they're against clutch.
You recognize the situation.
Yep, didn't want to do that. Opting out of that one. As Clutch Gaming will try to shove out the mid lane as they continue rotating towards 100 Thieves, who have started up the Drake.
Oh, they're in there.
Aframu's going to be taking some damage. Glacial Fissure comes out, not going to find anyone just yet. 100 Thieves make the call, burst down the Drake, try to stop this one. Nice block onto that Ezreal True Shot barrage, but now Clutch Gaming has gone a little bit too far forward. It's Cody Sun grabbing a killing spree onto Solo. Clutch backing away now, and they can't find anything else just yet. The Gangplank ulti comes down. Drake secured by the side of 100 Thieves.
Ooh, and that Gnar just popped as soon as Solo went in to try and get the big stun. No big follow-up from Clutch Gaming, and 100 Thieves just focus him down. Plus, as you said, another Mountain Drake going over. I mean, 2 Mountain Drakes, especially with a DPS-heavy team composition here. 100 Thieves are now poised to make a very big move around that Baron. They're able to bide their time, and now we'll see the benefits. Afromu actually in a little bit of a tight spot. He uses all of his abilities before this fight starts. He does negate the Ezreal ultimate there before they come in, but again, Solo goes in, he gets that initiation. His team got actually 0 damage off during the stun initiation there, because even Piglet on Ezreal wasn't close enough to get a Mystic shot in there. So he goes down, his team does basically no damage during the initiation, while 100 Thieves are burning down the tank, and that is not the type of situation you want to start your team fight out on.
And when you see Solo jump in like that, you look at his health bar and think, oh yeah, big tanky boy, Nar's got a lot of health, big old meatball. All he's got is health, man. He's got 20 armor from a Ninja Tabby. That's it. There's no real tank stats there on that champion so far. He has gone with the traditional split push style build to start things off, but that means you can't just jump in there and absorb damage from 5 people like that and expect it to not turn sour pretty quickly. He'll just continue the split push. Now this is where this build wants to shine. This is what he can do. Problem is, Someday is perfectly fine with this. Someday he'll just hang out, farm up, sidestep the boomerang, and go back to farming on his own as the rest of both teams will jockey around this top side, around this Baron, to play for position on this. You already mentioned how 100 Thieves with 2 Earth Drakes could make a big Baron move if given the chance.
Solo on the Gnar also, you know, because Someday has taken Grasp and he's been stacking health this whole time and he has the Syrinx, he actually only has 86 more health than the Gangplank.
But that's his baby Gnar. He's got like 500 more if he's a big Gnar.
I mean, Big Gnar's gonna add some more flat health, but a Gangplank that close in the 1 versus 1.
I know, I'm playing devil's advocate.
You gotta be scared.
The Gangplank is very scary right now, absolutely. Solo's gonna have to be mindful all the time of exactly how much damage he may be taking if that Gangplank can close that distance. Also want to look at Cody's son, who now has 3 completed items in the Blade of the Ruin King, the Black Cleaver, and that Rapid Fire Cannon. Massive DPS threat in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up the Blade of the Ruin King there, that, at least for Solo's sake, he does have that level of health, right? He could be even lower levels than the Gangplank in Mini Gnar form if he had gone with the Blade of the Ruin King split push style. But here we go, he's transformed to Mega now, and they're looking for the exchange. Actually, Someday moves very far up ahead of the rest of the squad.
You tried to set up a barrel chain there, but the barrels were slightly too far apart, and the explosions didn't connect. We've all done it before. We'll just stay with the rest of the team. Yeah.
Never have I
everybody
ever,
but
Captain
Kobe.
Flowers.
Everybody but Kobe's
Missed the barrel chain.
messed up a barrel chain. There's always an exception to the rule as True Shot Barrage is fired off.
I might take an extra 2 seconds to set it up and then not hit anyone with it, but at least the barrels are
But they're
connected.
exploding as a unit. Someday I'll just continue hanging out in the mid lane answering Solo here. The fact that both of these guys have just made the rotation over shows that Baron is very much on everyone's minds. No one wants to be late to the party. Even the time of channeling the TP could be enough to make you too little too late. As here comes the Glacial Fissure, it looks like it's time to fight Afromu. Taking some damage early on in this one. Solo goes into Mega Gnar. Gangplank ultimate also going to be called down there into the brush. Clutch Gaming still posturing aggressively, thinking about going in for this one. Barrels, that time they chain, but they don't connect. There's the Kobe. There's the Kobe.
Kobe. Honestly, we're going to see them push out the mid wave here and try and get control over Baron. You keep talking about it. The double mountains should allow 100 Thieves, if they can ever get some vision control over that area. Well, actually, Febivin might be the recipient of a shockwave. It's actually just going to be Moon who catches that one, though.
Febby did a nice job throwing out some damage there to make sure that the Thieves weren't confident, just jumping in there and collapsing onto him. And then now having a flash out to keep himself safe. Solo wants to go forward with the Mega Gnar. If he can find an ulti opportunity onto somebody here, finds the wallop down to Someday's Gangplank. Too low HP to go any further forward, didn't have the flash available just quite yet.
And you have to be careful about giving up too much of your health bars. If Clutch Gaming do lose control of their mid lane priority here, that's when the scary part of 100 Thieves getting vision control of Baron River takes over. Because this squad, as we said in Champ Select, 100 Thieves, they don't have great head-on initiation for themselves, but if you have to face check into Gangplank barrels, into the Orianna ball sitting, into a Braum, then it's incredibly dangerous, and that's the situation we're in now.
Those tools are ready to go. Here it comes. Vulcan forced to gobble up his teammate, keeping him alive. Moon walking away, but still very low HP. Cody Gets himself back, but you can't say the same for Afromu, who gets taken down. Vulcan grabs that kill, and now it's Clutch Gaming onto the Baron as 100 Thieves back themselves away. Clutch not confident to go for this one. They know the Thieves still have a lot of tools that they could use to stop this.
Definitely a split call there from 100 Thieves, actually. They had Anda up behind the Baron pit that whole time, kind of eyeballing Piglet maybe on the flank, but a big kill there for Clutch Gaming to take down Afromu and remove 100 Thieves from the Bear pit by force.
I also like, if you're looking at the pickups that these players are acquiring now, Locket of the Iron Solari completed for Moon on the side of Clutch Gaming. When you have so much burst potential that can come out from something like a Shockwave with a Graves ulti, pretty important to block a giant chunk of that. I like this addition to his inventory to make sure these guys cannot just get themselves insta-gibbed quite as hard in the team fights. But 100 Thieves, now that they've got that Yumu's Ghostblade done on the Gangplank, that means the Barrel's going to be doing that much more to these low armored targets. No armor on the Syndra. Very, very, very little armor on that Gnar. Still only having the Ninja Tabby. Ezreal's got Iceborne, but it still hurts.
Yeah, I actually do like what Clutch are doing, also with the double Knight's Vow. So they have one on Piglet and on Febiven. You mentioned how squishy Syndra can be, especially since he has no flash. It's going to be very dangerous for him. Yet, he also has the possibility of doing the most damage. He's got 5 stacks on his ring, 2 kills for himself, and the most CS on the team. So packing a big punch, and he's the one looking for the long-range stun. If Febiven can land long-range stun, then Clutch can follow up and try and find the big opening they're looking for.
Nice ball control there from Ryu as well, making sure that as they walk by the river, as they walk by those blind spots in the brushes, they're not worried about their opponents jumping out after them. Lest they jump into a Shockwave, Piglet will take the opportunity here to fire as many Mystic shots into the line of 100 Thieves as he can. These teams are playing this so very patiently, Kobe. No one wants to be the side that makes that critical error that gives away the Baron. This has just been so much the focus of both teams so far, playing around this objective, defending this objective, posturing around this objective, and to have it all go to nothing because you got a little bit too overzealous just one time. They both want to prevent that reality.
All right, bottom lane has been taken care of for 100 Thieves. Someday on the Gangplank just went down there. He's pushed up the wave, and they could actually have a solo the Drake as well if they sent one member down there, but we're gonna have the side split mid lane here as both teams taking one of the river brush for themselves.
It's a game of chicken. Who's gonna swerve first?
Well, looks like Clutch Gaming are gonna pull a 360 right around to the same spot they started. Baron.
Back to Baron they go. They're not doing it exceptionally quickly. Only having it down about 1/3 of the way so far. Afromu and Someday still trying to figure out what's going on here. Ward dropped over the wall. Baron will be discovered. Clutch decide to get themselves back. Moon has lost about half his HP here so far. Someday taking a little bit of damage here now as well as Piglet tries to go forward, finds some more opportunity for the DPS. Gangplank ulti going to be summoned here into this choke point as Cody Sun comes around from the side, going to be dealing the damage into Solo, who has to flash himself out. Culling comes through. Vulcan walks away from that one. The Thieves will zone Clutch Gaming away for now.
And they just took all that damage in a 4v5. Ryu was not even with the 100 Thieves squad. That's why Clutch went aggressive. They saw him top lane. Febiven is low on mana, and Baron is getting even lower.
And look at how much faster Baron dies against the comp of 100 Thieves. Febiven going to be taken very low. Solo into the middle of multiple people stunned up. Meganar doing the job so far as 100 Thieves now going to find themselves shut down, but the summoning of the Shockwave will make them stop directly in their tracks. Clutch Gaming continuing to try to chase these guys down. That's 1, 2, 3 dead on the side of 100 Thieves, and Clutch Gaming find their punish.
Oh my goodness, and yet there's not enough mana left on Febiven to add more DPS to a possible Baron attempt there, so they take out some of the wards. There's still a tremendous amount left broken around this pit, and let's take another look at how it started out. Double Mountains burns it down, but not quick enough. Febiven walks up, gets all their attention, and lines them up for Solo on the Gnar. And this time around, even though Solo sacrifices his life, the stun was enough to get them into position. Damage coming through there, mostly from Piglet. Moon also getting his ult off to help melt them. They get the extra chase down kill. Whew, back at it again here. The fight, honestly, we just had so many wards dying around this Baron pit. and everyone trying to replenish them in time. This will be an alert for 100 Thieves trying to rush over.
Thieves will get there as quickly as they can. The Baron taking speed for Clutch Gaming is just so slow that they aren't burning this down in time. Thieves now in position.
Looking for the stun.
Want to stop this when they know the Syndra stun is now down. This is their chance to move up, get themselves a little bit closer, try to stop this Baron take attempt. Clutch Gaming decide to disengage from the objective. It's still going to be kept injured for now. Moon wants to keep this aggro. This could go to heaven or hell so very quickly. Baron will be allowed to regenerate. The dance continues.
Did you know Baron is where Warmogs come from? And he's just healed right back up.
Oh, I was gonna say,
the armor is made out of
in the lore? Dead Barons get turned into Warmogs?
Heals right back up, no problem, and he's ready to go for round number 2. Look at that little attempt at a rotation, by the way, from Clutch Gaming. They wanted to use the Abyssal Voyage from Vulcan to get a sneaky tower there, but Someday had already made his way there. He defends the turret, and again, stalemate, Captain Flowers.
After those first 2 Mountain Drakes, I find this funny to point out now, first Mountain Drake was taken at 13 minutes, I believe. Nobody has cared about this Cloud Drake ever since. We're now past the point where Elder Dragons start spawning, and everybody's just left poor little Cloud Drake there to hang out in the bottom of the river by himself, because Baron has been the obsession of these teams for the past 15 minutes, although they've both done a good enough job at shutting down the other that nobody's got it.
So one of the difficult things is you look at abilities available for both sides to create the action. And so much of this fight is over the wards and getting vision to do that from, but it's not that easy of a task to ask, right? Because even though Clutch Gaming do have a Syndra long-range stun, and Forbidden's been trying to sit on these control wards, throw it out from Fog of War, 100 Thieves do have Braum as well as all of the counter initiation possible, so it kind of dissuades you from taking big risks and charging into so much possible AoE damage that 100 Thieves can lay down in a counter initiation. That's why you're trying to force them to come over to Baron once again. 8,000 health and dropping.
They will get the TP out of Someday, so Thieves have at least committed a summoner spell to this one. And the committal of that spell is enough for Clutch Gaming to decide to back away.
Scared them right off. Again, trying to push some minion waves here. It almost takes too long to clear all these wards out for them to be able to
Somebody get a
big opening. Yeah. So honestly, Dustblade having part of the passive be that you can kill wards in one hit is probably one of the best feelings about buying that.
Oh, it is. You don't have to waste time shooting all these things so many times. Get them immediately out of your way. Clutch Gaming now ready for 100 Thieves, who are trying to potentially make a play on the flank here. Someday still setting up in that brush. Has a barrel ready to go for the chain. Nope.
Kobe. All right, let me start theory crafting some plays.
All right, craft me a theory.
Then we're not seeing the big fights. I'll just theory craft you some fights.
Paint a picture in my mind. Tell me what it would look like.
Take a stroll with me down, down mid lane here. How about we have Moon started off with the pillar when Solo has his Mega Gnar charged up, flash ready from the other side, and you try and create your own terrain to get your big Gnar into. That would be another possible way that you could have a stone to actually start the fight out, because fishing for these long-range Syndra stuns has not really worked out for Clutch. They haven't been able to find any of these 100 Thieves main targets. Aftermoon's doing a good job body blocking. Someday can just eat an orange and get out of it. So it becomes very difficult for them, to pin down any of these guys. And every time that Solo has flashed in near a wall to try and get the big stuns, he's died for it. So it's kind of conditioning him against against it.
All right, I see your Clutch Gaming engage theory craft. I'm going to raise you 100 Thieves engage. It's one of my favorite guilty pleasures. Hold on. Pillar is down! Double pillar is down! Solo doesn't have the Gnar bar, though. I like to read League of Legends Reddit at 3 o'clock in the morning when you get the really juicy threads in there.
Right.
And a guy told a story of a Kog'Maw with an Orianna on his team that would just flash into people with the ball on him because he's Kog'Maw, and they would all group up on him, and then they'd get shockwaved, and they won. Granted, this was in Bronze 5, like -4 LP.
I like it.
But
I like it.
Cody gets the ball on him.
No one.
Cody gets the ball on him. You flash in there, and you just let Lucian Shockwave kill everybody.
Lucian's even better, right? He can just dash into there. Shockwave was used there by Ryu to get a little bit of damage, but Solo's the target.
Solo flashes out, trying to escape from further damage, and he'll live.
That means we have one less tool for initiating on the table. No flash for the Gnar means that's going to be even more difficult. So you got to cheer for Febiven, and he's actually going home to take a break real quick. He's tired. Throwing out these stuns. Let's see, what did he purchase though? Okay, so they do have the Void Staff and the Death Cap. 4 items here for Syndra, ready to blow somebody up, but Baron's the one getting blown up.
Baron goes down very fast against the Thieves. Remember, their comp is much better at this than Clutch Gaming is, and now they've been able to find the objective for themselves. Ryu now having to deal with Solo in the 1v1, but Moon gets blown up in the 4 versus 4. Afro's taken low. He will be taken down. Ryu keeps himself alive for now. 100 Thieves still in retreat. Is 1 for 1 so far. Ryu's still trying to escape. Someday's going to be taken low. Vulcan goes in alone and just ends up giving over the kill, as now they do find the return kill onto Anda for the side of Clutch Gaming. It's 2 for 2, but critically, Baron finally goes over to 100 Thieves after 20 minutes.
Ooh, they just have enough damage to burn it down quick enough before Clutch even arrive. The double mountains do pay off. In the end, it's 2 kills for 2 afterwards, so 2 of the buffs are taken off, but pretty critical here that they're going to be able to keep this buff to actually push turrets with. Let's take another look as 100 Thieves are burning it down. Aframu does use the ult down there. Solo teleports in at 1v1 to Ryu and keep him out of the fight. And I thought Febiven here with the big flank on Syndra was going to be able to find a little bit more, but a good escape there from 100 Thieves to the top side for a while allows them to actually bait out Vulcan, get that kill there, and then Solo, since they delayed the retreat, was able to move in, get the stun against the wall for another kill. In the end, though, Baron buff still alive here for 100 Thieves, and they can try and make some headway as far as breaking into the actual base of Clutch Gaming to turn the tides of this game.
You fought for 20 minutes to get this thing. Now you've got 2 minutes to use it. Let's see if Thieves can prove that it was all worthwhile. They did take the Cloud Drake while we were taking a look at the replays. That meant that they were finally going to enable the Elder Wind condition a few minutes from now. But they've still got to push into this enemy base. You've got 1 tier 2 left standing. Yeah, you can take that as some free money, but after that, it's time to start up the siege, and having a siege into something where this Gnar can come in and engage on you, where you can set up the Trundle Pillar, where you can find the Syndra Stun, it's still pretty difficult. Baron or no?
Definitely is difficult. You're going to want to control 2 waves when you have the Baron buff. Usually mid lane and then one of the sides. Currently, Cody's Sun is moving up the top one because of that extra turret you mentioned. You want to get your easier gold on the way so that if you mess up, then you won't lose too much. Ryu, though.
Vulcan brings in Moon. Ryu's going to be the target. He gets the shockwave to keep himself safe for now, but Piglet being shut down means this is quickly going to be turned around. Someday, bringing the damage right back into the rest of the fight. Piglet grabs the kill onto Ryu, but that's still going to be the only one for the side of Clutch. They've lost 3, and Solo and Febiven have to try to survive against the remaining Thieves. A nice combo from Febby, but the damage is going to be blocked by the ulti. Anda stays alive with a stopwatch, and 100 Thieves now have their eyes set on the mid lane.
Big move there from Aframu. Gets in to protect Anda and keep their numbers advantage. Febiven and Solo will be alone in trying to defend. Solo's recall is also stopped by Aframu there. That should mean a guaranteed inhibitor for 100 Thieves.
Great stop from Afro, a good fight from 100 Thieves, and with 15 seconds still left on the death timers for Clutch Gaming, Thieves are making the call. Go for the end. The Nexus turret's under siege now. First one's already down. Solo having to jump away. Stun comes through. Damage follows thereafter. That's going to be a kill for Someday, as now Nexus turret number 2 will not be long for this world. The Nexus itself could be the target, but the Thieves make the call to get out. They know that Clutch Gaming is respawning. They can't end it just yet.
Oh! Piglet's able to get one back for himself. He died early in that chase, and that is what we were kind of cautioning against. Clutch Gaming, they chased very hard onto this 100 Thieves composition, and we got to see the Shockwave, the Gangplank ultimate, all coming through to disengage here. Now, the reason they go on Ryu here, they know the Baron buff split push is going to take a big toll, and Ryu has no flash from the last Baron fight that they did, but Ryu ran a good disengaged Shockwave for himself, which bought the time. Piglet actually, his ultimate got off in time to finish off the kill onto Ryu, even though...
I wondered how he got that one.
Yeah, he's the one who got focused down first, and he died, but his ultimate got off just before he dies. He's able to get the kill onto Ryu. Anyways, And you see there, Aftermood does go in. He actually blocks a lot of the damage that would have been immune anyways by Anda's stopwatch. So they double up there and lose out on the cooldown. But it doesn't matter because he was going to upgrade that stopwatch into GA right now anyway. And now he is sporting double GAs here for 100 Thieves.
5,000 gold Baron power play feels pretty good for the Thieves. Feels even better having that Nexus open. Means that if you get yourself a solid pick or two somewhere, you may just be able to force the end of the game right off the back of that. They still do have inhibitor turrets standing in 2 of the lanes of their opponent's base, so we may just see another Baron dance before we see any more real action from this game. Clutch likely aware of the fact that one more big loss is curtains for them. It's very, very difficult to come back from a position like this, but we'll see if they can make it happen. This is a team, remember, that, like we said earlier, brought in these 3 new players to the main LCS stage who have been playing in Academy in a very challenging week for Clutch Gaming. 100 Thieves, not an easy opponent, not normally one that you would just say, hey, this is a test for you guys. They're testing them in the most difficult possible way.
Yeah, the North American LCS this split has been one crazy test with a lot of trick questions.
But hey, if you can pass the test with the trick questions, if you say, oh no, that one's a bamboozler, I got the answer for this one, that just shows that it was the right call. Again, I think this is Clutch Gaming saying they have faith in these players, but you better be ready to climb that mountain.
Well, they better be praying now because this is going to have to be a big performance. By the way, we did have Piglet purchasing the Dustblade. As we were talking about the Ward Wars, maybe get some quicker clearing out of that. Honestly, though, this is something we saw in the past where Ezreal, you can apply it with your Q. Yeah, and if you just drop out of vision into a bush or something, you can refresh the Dustblade true damage proc very quickly with Ezreal and poke pretty effectively, honestly. So we'll see if Piglet is able to dip in and out of vision and get a lot of use out of that passive. Does apply some extra oomph to your poke. I actually prefer the double tier build where you have these Seraphs on top because the shield comes in super handy, but I like this one as well, especially since we've had so much focus on vision and being able to clear out wards quickly, and any extra little bit of true sight might help open up the game-winning pick if you can actually find one of those big stuns.
Going to give a big agree to that one. As we do take a look, I want to see how Clutch can try to engage this one. Pillar drop down. Ryu's going to be stuck on the wrong side of it. Nice force of the flash there from Clutch Gaming. 100 Thieves thinking about counterattacking on this one. Cody Sun might be in some trouble having to get himself away. Ball comes forward. Solo's going to be in the front line, and during the calling for now, Gangplank ulti behind Clutch Gaming, making it hard to retreat. Cody Sun going to be kept alive by the power of the passive on the Maw of Malmortius, keeping him safe. Woo, that could have gone really crazy.
Yeah, you're seeing this fight, actually, the impetus for it was Cody Sun dashing forward on Lucian. They're trying to bait out some of these skill shots and force the engage there. Doesn't quite commit, so nobody does lose their lives, but it's important to note the flashes. As you said, the big one that was blown, Ryu on the Orianna. He does have a Banshee's Veil, so he's safer this time around, but again, Ryu is the only guy that will be entering this almost 50-minute team fight with no flash.
50-minute team fight. You look at the gold, you see a game that's 9 or 10,000 gold apart, you go, man, that one has one hell of a lead for this team. But 50 minutes in, it doesn't mean nearly as much as it could. You can see builds getting very close to completion, even for the side of Clutch Gaming. You've got 6 items on Piglet. You've got 6 items now on Febiven and the Syndra, who just went back to shop and complete that full build. These damage dealers are just as deadly as those on the side of 100 Thieves. Both Uber buffs also alive on the map.
I was kind of thinking that Febiven would complete his build by upgrading because he had a 10 stacked rings. I thought it was going to go with the Medjai's, but honestly,
option.
Like we said before, if you upgrade to a Medjai's so late into the game that literally the next team fight is going to be the game breaker, then there's no point.
Kill the Nexus with 25 attacks. Flex on him in a match.
Exactly. The point is, I still have these extra pages while I'm winning the game. But he's going to need the more immediate power and safety. Smarter upgrade is to get the Banshee's Veil. Less swag to it, but
just
blocking a spell this late into the game could be huge.
Especially when most of the stuff that's going to be hitting you will just be some big pick potential ability, right? I mean, if you get hit by a shockwave pulling you in from the maximum range, but all of a sudden the Banshee's Gale protects you, that's a GG stopper.
Yeah, or a full build Gangplank barrel chain. Backline, that could be devastating. Here we go, though. Elder Drag's next to start up, and this one goes down real fast.
Cody and Someday working to try to take this one down as a duo. They've got Anda there now as well. Grab the Scuttle Crab, decides to de-aggro away from the Drake, but now it's Clutch Gaming who have taken over the area. Gangplank Ultimate coming down, looking to start off this team fight. Elder Drake resetting. Clutch Gaming have found themselves in a less than optimal position. Aframu jumping over here now to join the rest of the team. Drake down to 3K. Anda's going to be zoned away from that one for now. Solo comes out, finds the slam into the pillar onto Aframu, but now he's going to be the target. Does get the Guardian Angel proc, tries to get himself away. He'll go down. Aframu grabs the kill onto that one as Elder Drake goes over to 100 Thieves. And Clutch Gaming now find themselves really on the back foot.
Unable to pull the trigger, and 100 Thieves come away again with the kill plus the Elder Dragon buff. Now they can just head over to Baron with Elder Dragon empowered mountains. They can immediately take that one and look to finish the game. Let's take another look at how this one actually started out. Elder Dragon doing damage the whole time. Gangplank Ultimate separates the team. Even though Elder resets here into the pit, they still have a positioning advantage there for 100 Thieves, and they're able to make use of that to force them off. All right, let's take another look, though. Baron actually wasn't even picked up. 100 Thieves want to push in and finish up the base here with just the Elder Dragon.
Longest game this season, with the previous record also being between these two teams. Whenever these guys go head-to-head, it's always a slugfest. 100 Thieves now pushing up into the mid lane with this buff.
They changed their mind.
Nice 5-man True Shot barrage, but they'll head for the Baron instead. They're saying, all right, we're going to tempt Clutch Gaming to come try to stop us. If they do try, we've got this massive buff to fight them with, and it looks like Clutch will just give this.
But in doing so and taking that detour, the two big side waves are cleared up by Clutch Gaming. So it allows Clutch Gaming a little bit of time there to push out some double stacked waves. It's kind of like if you have some quests in your MMO, you go halfway
They're side
across the
questing
map
right
to
now?
the west.
They're side questing?
Side quests. Oh yeah, we'll turn around. Now we'll go back there. Now we'll go back to the base. Okay, now the final push comes in.
Kill 10
Spend their
wolves
money.
outside our village. Forget saving the world.
Exactly. The wolves have been killed, and the money they got from turning in those wolf pelts has been used on potions. When you get your elixirs on top of your Elder Dragon, on top of your Baron, that's when you say, we've only got one place left in the entire world to go.
100 Thieves are at 100% right now, and they've only got one inhibitor standing between them and the enemy Nexus. They're trying to force this one down mid, 5 men strong. Clutch Gaming have to make their hold here. Killer comes up, Cody's son still moving forward. Trying to get any little bit of damage that he can. 100 Thieves still wanting to fight with what's left of this Elder Drake buff. Anda's over the wall. Ready to find some damage on the flank if he needs it. Ryu's going to be taken down below half HP, though.
And this is why it's so important. I mentioned the side waves before. Both side waves are pushing out for Clutch Gaming. There's no pressure on them.
They're comfortable.
Exactly. They're defending here. Great. Bought another window. And that's part of why maybe these two teams have our highest previous game of the split as well. Another recall, and actually going to get a full reset on Ryu, who does not have teleport on this Orianna, so he's going to walk his way on back down, and they're going to have to tend to both top and bottom lane waves again.
Everyone on the side of 100 Thieves sans Aframu is full build. If you look over on the side of Clutch Gaming, both the carries are at 6 items, while the remaining members are at about 5.5. So the game state isn't going to change too much more from here in terms of what these two teams look like when 5 versus 5 collides.
Dude, time is of the essence in the late game. Your Elder Dragon buff fully times out here for 100 Thieves. Baron buff still has 2 more waves to work with, 2.5. So they're going to try and push down bottom, it looks like, as they make another rotation, instead of funneling there into the exposed inhibitor on mid.
Clutch Gaming will continue putting up a solid defense, though, protecting this exposed inhib. Moon will take a little bit of damage from Cody there in the bottom side, as this wave now becomes the focus. Cody and Afro think about moving up, but Feminine being there means you don't really want to tempt it too hard. They go back, make sure the Baron buff is enchanting that next wave of minions to keep the melee ones nice and tanky so Feminine can't clear them away instantly. Codyson's got the shields on him from Ryu, protecting him from that Syndra damage, like you can see coming through right there. Solo's still waiting. He's got the Narbar mostly charged. They need him to make a big initiation to really win one of these team fights.
100 Thieves have a lot of advantages here. I mean, they've got 2 Guardian Angels ready for them to buy more time in the team fight, and they have way more damage packed in to their late game. Big thing for Clutch Gaming is the crowd control advantage and the double tanks that they have. Solo and Moon trying to open up those front lines and allow their DPS members easier time in getting their damage off.
Piglet took a little bit of damage
Done?
there. Codyson also in trouble! True Shot Barrage coming through as the Shockwave will keep Solo away. Ryu's still going to be kept alive for now. Culling coming out. Solo going to go down. As now it's Sunday moving towards the Nexus. They can't stop him just yet. Piglet needs to get back and put some damage into the 100 Thieves top laner, who's just going to win the game on his own!
Someday said, you guys are taking too long. I'm going to end this game myself.
We're talking about MMOs. Time's up. Let's do this. Sunday on the Nexus. Whew. All he needed was everybody else to buy him some time, and that is GG 100 Thieves. It takes 56 minutes to do it, but they find the win over Clutch.
Whew. Honestly, too, we got to review a little bit with the changes for Clutch. Piglet, by far the most damage in the game on Ezreal. Whenever you're going to have these long, extended games, though, the poke champions are really going to shine through. And especially since he went with that Dustblade build, you know, constantly looking for that Mystic Shot poke, that is going to show up in the stats for him. Regardless, though, in the end, the team play there from 100 Thieves, they are able to rally around that Baron pit, control the objectives, and finally end out that game.
But again, that was a long one. That was a slugfest. That was 20 minutes of neither side being able to find enough control over Baron to secure the objective, despite explicitly focusing on that. Both these teams will definitely want to go back and look at that mid-game, try to find more ways to make something happen there, because we talked about 100 Thieves and what does the death of Funnel mean for a team that did it so damn well. And they still found a win. They were able to play this game out and find the victory, but it didn't look nearly as clean as their games on a Funnel have.
Yeah, go back through, see where you can cut off at 30 seconds from this play, 30 seconds from that play, maybe press it a little bit more aggressively. But honestly, with the way that this season is going,
you never know.
And you're happy to get that win.
Mr. NALCS's wild ride continues, and now to get more insight on that game and to wrap up the day, let's throw it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. The longest game of the summer split, 56 minutes, Clutch Gaming, 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves come out on top.
And Dash,
Woo!
I know you know the answer to the question, but what's the second longest game of the spring split?
Week 3.
100 Thieves versus Clutch. Hey, Dash, you know what the longest game of the spring split playoffs was? It was 100 Thieves versus Clutch. It was 74 minutes.
It was on the tip of my tongue. I had that one.
You know what the longest game of the spring split was? 100 Thieves versus Optic.
Oh,
close.
Okay.
It was really close. 100 Thieves and Clutch just have a way of playing against each other because they mimic each other's styles so much. They're both highly reactive teams, so they just kind of, neither team ever wants to commit.
Right. Well, that said, Clutch Gaming came into this week shaking up their roster, bringing in 3 different players, and you'd like to think that that would affect team dynamic and perhaps the way they approach and execute within the game a little bit. Seemingly not so, though.
No, because I think, you would think that, but first we got to get the highlights, because there were a lot of them in this long game. First, that was just a really clean coordination between Someday and Onda on that first kill, and then smack back.
A good kill back,
Yep. Should make sure that the top side doesn't get completely in favor of GP, because that is a bit of a concern. And then Piglet and Vulcan were doing a good job on the bot lane turret for a while. They almost took it by themselves, but when the items start coming in, there's that slight period where Lucian will spike over the Ezreal, and during that time, they started finding kills and kind of put Piglet and Vulcan on the back foot.
Yeah, and as much as we're saying that it's a 100 Thieves versus Clutch thing, this was 3 different players on the Clutch team, and at the start of this play, it was actually just the 3 Academy players that were dead. It was because Piglet and Vulcan were so close to being able to turn that around, but the rest of the game, it was just a hair short on all of the initiations.
And I think one of the reasons that it still felt very much like a clutch game versus 100 Thieves was because it's largely similar playstyles. I think Apollo versus Piglet would probably be the biggest difference, where Piglet's known to be more aggressive. But, you know, Hakuho was kind of one of the main playmakers for clutch. He's out of the game, and then substitute Vulcan is on Tom Kench. Hard to make plays. Moon was sometimes pretty proactive when he's on things like Evelyn and the kind of cheesier gankers. He's on Trundle. And so you're left with Moon and Febby to make plays, or excuse me, Solo and Febby, they're not the biggest playmakers.
Yeah, and it's not only Moon on Trundle, but it's Trundle against essentially 4 ranged champions, if I'm considering Gangplank a ranged champion, and not a true tank to be able to get resistances for. So he was in a very difficult position on the Trundle. You can use it for some early dueling and maybe some early objective control, but beyond that, it's not the Trundle we're used to.
And so much of this game felt like it revolved around the Baron. I mean, we saw a number of the highlights and fights kind of breaking out around the Baron pit. My question is, why is that? You know, is that indicative of the only way that these 2 teams know how to win?
Probably. I mean, even back to last split, like Jad was talking about, a lot of 100 Thieves late game wins where they would out-execute someone at Baron. Maybe Meteos was a big factor in being able to help facilitate that, having done so many Barons successfully, which Onda probably doesn't have the same experience with. And then both team comps don't have great ways to deal with each other. It's all range versus pretty low engaged team comp. And then the all range team has no way to turn off or tank the Baron well.
Yeah, and it's pretty good that 100 Thieves won this game, because I was a little worried that without Meteos's vision control and some of the veteran presence that he brings, that 100 Thieves wouldn't be able to win this style of game. Because sure, this is the longest game of the split, but as we talked about at the start of the segment, 100 Thieves plays a ton of long games. And the reason they were the 2nd place team at the end of last split, and the reason that they're tied for 1st, is because they almost always win the long games. And the fact that Onda was able to be one of the main vision contributors and still be able to do the Baron dances and get them in priority is promising for 100 Thieves.
A battle of attrition almost, but ultimately it ended with Someday waltzing down the mid lane and just saying, look, I'm going to hit the Nexus. You guys do what you want to do down there in the bot lane.
Base rate.
Yeah, Someday is the guy with this team where he feels like he hits this point where he's like, all right, I'm not getting involved in that scrap down the bot side. I'm ending the game.
Right. But so again, this is similar to the conversation we had following the Team Liquid game. Both of our finalists from Spring Split did pick up wins today, but neither of the wins were that convincing. And as you mentioned, Jad, even in this case, it felt like for so much of it, gold lead in favor of 100 Thieves, but that they were on the back foot, just ever so slightly in terms of controlling the game and the movement around the map. And so with Meteos out and maybe some of that veteran presence and Onda trying to fill his shoes, do you think Afro's capable, you know, or is it that Onda's going to have to step in to that role and grow up real fast?
I think they are capable. I don't think they are where they necessarily were in the Spring Split. And Prawley's talked about this in interviews before. Like, they're working on a lot of stuff with Onda, and they aren't even necessarily ready to show all of it, right? So they're just trying to put him on, like, Meteos picks and play like Meteos until we're ready to be able to play the whole team around you. What is a step up for 100 Thieves this split, which could potentially raise their ceiling, is Someday's performance, because he is consistently the best player in the game, and that was not the case in Spring.
Very much so. It was interesting to watch him winning that GP versus Gnar matchup where just before this we saw Lorlo kind of manhandling a GP as the Gnar himself in lane. Just speaks more towards Someday and his performance so far this split. With those games, though, let's see how the NA roller coaster is shaping up. 100 Thieves, Echo Fox, and Team Liquid maintain hold of 1st place, while Optic Gaming make the push to up to 5th place alongside Counterlogic Gaming, Golden Guardians, and TSM. Looking at how predictions panned out for the day, though, this is what everyone's interested in. Jat evens up the score with a 3-2 day.
Just need to stop predicting TSM and COG, and I'll be good.
It's the old guard.
Then I'm fixed.
It's baiting you in. It's the old guard. Team Liquid did pick up their win today.
As unhappy I am with the season totals, which our excuse is the fact that literally the favorites of matchups have about a 30% win rate at this point, as in the team that has more wins.
In a lopsided matchup, the lower seeded team is more likely to win statistically.
Yeah, by a lot. Like, But with that, I'm really happy I'm tied with Mark again because I was down 3 games like
Yeah.
a week and a half ago.
Mark, how are you feeling on the 1-4 day? Because a couple of your predictions, like Golden Guardians, did look so good for so long.
I think that's what I'm most upset about is like, I watched that, you get like 4 kills in the first like 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and then you lose me that game.
They had like a 5K goal lead at 11 minutes or something ridiculous.
As soon as I start putting faith in a team, they always let me down. Like Clutch, I didn't believe in them in their first time. I think they played TSM this split again, and then they beat them, and I'm like, all right, Clutch. And then they go on a slide.
Yeah.
Golden Guardians better not slide on me.
I think the players are acutely aware of that too, because Acadian earlier on the desk today was like, please never predict
He
my
didn't want us
team.
to vote for Optic
Because
at all.
if you predict my
picking
team,
Optic
we will
tomorrow.
lose. So there you have it. Castle Curse really is coming to fruition. If we pull up the schedule, though, for tomorrow, presented by Jersey Mike Subs, we see that the day kicks off with FlyQuest challenging TSM, followed by 100 Thieves versus Counterlogic Gaming, and Team Liquid versus Clutch Gaming in Game 3, where Azale will be casting alongside Clutch's Seb Park and Team Liquid's Steve from the NALCS Lounge on Riot Games 2. If today's games got you itching for more action, though, stay tuned after the NALCS goes dark for a rebroadcast of today's EULCS games. Now, for myself, the cast, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the NALCS. Good night. And today's first match features 2 orgs that are former Titans gunning, right? You know, to spark what once made them great.
Now go for the play. Middy's gonna drop. Pearson's got as well. 2 for 0. And the chase in for Hanzo. He's got Flash, but he's got nowhere to go for this one. He will not find Jensen. Cannot quite get that kill. Zazel stays up on this one. Cloud9 2 for 0 in the fight. Make it a third as Jensen finds the other Danish member to kill. Coming around there. They're gonna force the revive out of this. And they're still cutting away as first blood comes through in the dive. As the team joins in, Darshan, he's gonna be falling down for this one. The pickup is there.
Finish, take the finish, guys. You want the frag? Go for a frag. Go for a frag. Go for a frag. Let's go, baby.
I got you. Oh shit. I got you. We can fight. We got it. Go.
Mundo no flash.
We got it.
Okay, boys.
Good shit.
Turtle goes to the back. Can he pick that kill off? He cannot, though, as they kite away. Turtle is trying to back as soon he turns himself around. And Health bars are dropping. FlyQuest will not stay alive here. FlyQuest is dead. And Echo Fox hold on to first. Now having to deal with Solo in the 1v1. But Moon gets blown up in the 4 versus 4. Afro's taken low. He will be taken down.
Take it slow. You got time. I stop top. End the game. Ezra no flash.
And then I got it.
Nice.
Now they're turning right back around onto Xminty. And Liquid bit off way more than they can chew. Oh, yeah. Hate to see that. 3 members gank bottom lane. The Man, you monster! Remember, he's got no flash. He's got no way out. Matt makes his way into the back line of Team Liquid. Now in some trouble of their own, but they've turned it right back around.
What a nice early game.